So we're looking at our last two people. So whoever I pick, I get, and you get the leftovers, the scraps, the trash this season, you know?
Wow.
Split the vote.
Welcome back, Rob. We are so back. This is Split the Vote, the ultimate Survivor Superfan podcast, where I'm one of your hosts, Tim. Rob is also one of your hosts. We're Gen Z Survivor Superfans, giving you the Survivor perspective from the ground up, from the fans' eye. And I'm super excited about this season. It's the 49th season of Survivor. We're here on the Purple Pants podcast, over here on the Brice Izyah YouTube channel, and everywhere else you can find a podcast. Rob, how are you feeling about Survivor 49? And we're back.
Dude, we're so back. We're back for season 2 of Split the Vote. I'm just so happy just to have the experience of being able to talk about Survivor 49 with you and everyone else that engages with our content. Like, dude, Survivor is one of my favorite things in this world. It's my favorite niche for sure. So just happy to be back.
I feel that, man. Like, the thrill is here. Survivor is literally like, it's just so much to me. If I had a pie chart of my life, I feel like a good 30% of it is just like Survivor, me thinking about Survivor, my love for Survivor. So whenever Survivor season is back in, it's just so much like energy inside of me. It feels like 18 hamsters like jumping around inside of like my body at this moment. So I'm hyped to get into it. This episode, we are doing our preseason draft. We're going to be looking at the Survivor 49 cast, and we're going to be giving our picks for who we think is going to win. And we'll draft these people on our team. And at the end of the season, whichever person between me and Rob has the amount of players who got the farthest in the game wins. Now, Rob, we got to talk about this record because your boy is undefeated, 2-0 champ. You know, if I had a belt right now, I would be carrying it because undefeated. It's just something about my mind, something about what I see, you know? So bring it.
Bro, you're not 2-0, you're 3-0. It's like embarrassing. Like, I don't know. I feel like the abysmal like Cleveland Browns or something like that. Like, just can't catch a dub at all. But yeah, dude, I'm defeated. I need a win. But I'm hoping this is the season where I really turn it around. I always consider myself as a pretty savvy Survivor player where I can clock any player and I know if you're good or not. But whatever it is with these interviews, people just putting on these like faces, like I can't get it. So I'm hoping that I finally turn it around this season.
Yeah, well, I hope not because I like winning too. But without further ado, let's get into the draft. So I am going to flip a coin. Do you actually have a coin on you? Because, you know, our generation, we don't be carrying money. I'm a card person per se. Rob
I do.
does in fact have a coin for the people that are just listening. So, Rob, I'm going to say heads.
You call heads? All right.
I'm going to say heads.
It is tails. Let's go.
I feel like he flipped that at the last minute, but
I'm
just going to give it to you, Rob. All right. So if you're watching the video, we have the cast pulled up right here alongside us. You can also just follow along with audio. But Rob, you have the first pick.
All right, let's go. Okay, so when I'm looking at these players, I'm trying to figure out like some of the characteristics of them that stand out to me. I did a little bit of a deep dive watching their Survivor intro videos on the Survivor YouTube account and just checked out their little blurbs about each player that they put out. So I was just trying to evaluate their potential social game, strategic game, and anything else that really just stuck out to me personally. So with that being said, the first pick of our season 49 draft, I'm taking my corporate girl from New York, Sophie S. She gives very smart and aggressive game energy, especially when listening to her talk about Survivor. And that's someone I definitely want on my team. Someone with a strategic force and some power, definitely in this game.
Okay. Sophie S. I think that's a great pick. And Rob, if I have to go right after you, if you're gonna pick Sophie S, and we're gonna be partners on this podcast, you know I gotta do it. I gotta go with Sophie B. I feel like Sophie B, Sophie B winning. Sophie B getting far in the game of Survivor. So Sophie B, I feel like has potential to really do good in the game. I feel like of the people that are on her tribe, I think she's gonna be one of those social players who's gonna try to create connections across different people. And I think people might even be drawn to her. But I have to pick the Sophie counterpart in this part and go with Sophie B. Because
You
Sophie
know,
B, Sophie B, she's just B.
dude, I feel like I can feel that feisty Latina energy coming off of her. And it sounds like she's going to be so aggressive out of the gate, which can be really good early, but it also can be a detriment to your game, like with Say from last season. So I would not be surprised if she was the first boot because she might play so fast out of the gate, but that might be a player. You might have got yourself a player right there. That's for sure.
Yeah, listen. Who knows? She might find an idol.
You never know. You never know. That is like the one part of the game where all bets are off, to be honest.
Yeah.
But all right, going with my second pick. I'm looking at this cast and I'm trying to find someone that like just gives that like smiley, goofy energy. And anyone that knows Kenny from Gabon knows this game too. Just ask Jack Clifton. So the next player that I'm selecting for my team is Jason. I think he could be very underestimated by his castmates, but he also was originally cast as an alternate. And alternates come into this game with some fire, right? Because that energy that they have, they weren't expecting to play. And now all of a sudden, 12 hours before the game, they get that opportunity. That's someone that I'm watching the first episode to see just how they integrate themselves. That love and energy for Survivor. Like man, I can't think of anyone from the last season who.
Rachel Lamont was an alternate.
She was an alternate.
Andy
was she?
Was an alternate.
Andy, I was thinking too. But
or
what
like in
48
previous seasons?
Yeah, I mean, dude, alternates have a great track record. So Jason was someone I was looking at. So I'm happy to have him on my team. That's astounding for me.
Nice. Listen, if you're like me and you are someone who's watched the It's a Look episode that Brice always does over there on the RHAP main channel, you already know there's some thoughts about Jason, bringing us back to the 99 2000s. So I think that Jason could be a good pick for you, but I think I have a better pick for who I'm going to pick for Team Tim next. And out the gate, I got to go with my girl, Christina. Christina, she's the mother of the season. Like, I can already predict it. Like, I feel like everybody is going to get good vibes from Christina. I feel like she's going to be the social player, really the big social player. I know I said social for Sophie B because Sophie B social, but I think Christina is going to really do it to the extreme. Like, she has this big smile, big energy. She has a super unique story alongside her as well, like how she's out there finding her career, helping people find their own career and path in life. And I think, shout out to Izyah Welsh, she's gonna forge her own path far into the game, and she might even be at that final tribal council seat. So I gotta go with Christina.
Yeah, I the vibe she was giving me, she's making the jury. She's definitely getting that far into the game. Or if not, she's like first boot or something like that. But she just seems so socially aware and very capable. Those are the qualities I liked in her. So maybe like low-key, I want her to be the first boot now, just so I can get some more points on my side. But
not too much.
All right, but someone who I don't think will be the first boot of the season, I'm looking at Alex Moore. He's 27 and a political communications director, and I can see him being able to navigate the game socially since like politics is a game, and he's been doing that for a minute now. So I don't know. There's something about his like smiley, goofy energy too that I really like. Like, look at him cheesing in that picture
Yeah.
right there. Like, look at that big smile. Like, how is that? That looks like such a heartwarming face that you want to align yourself with. Like, so I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is and pick Alex.
Yeah, well, you know, he used to work in DC. DC, I don't know if you've been in DC lately. I know you moved away, but I'm still in the area. So it's a little crazy right now. So I don't know if his game is gonna be a little crazy at the same time, too. But I
Fair.
definitely think Alex is a good pick moving forward into your team. But I still think I'm gonna come on top, Rob. And you know, a person who I'm gonna pick next who has been a top dog in their career, and I think they're also going to be a top dog in Survivor. I don't know exactly how far they're going to get. They give me a little bit of Rome energy, you know, from maybe being too out there, but I got to go with Nate. So Nate,
Okay.
I had a friend, right, Trevor, on campus talking to people I know. Trevor, big Marvel fan. Trevor remembered that Nate worked on MCU movies, but Trevor didn't necessarily like the movies that Nate worked on. I personally loved it. I personally love the movies he worked on. I'm actually a big fan of like the Eternals. I'm a big fan of the Marvels. And if you can captivate people and direct people and just really help create this great production, you can help lead and organize your tribe. It might be a little bit commanding at times, which is why I'm getting maybe a little bit of Rome energy, but I do think he has great potential in this game for the 49th season.
You know, I don't know why, but he gave me like Cedric Butt Doctor vibes too while watching
Hmm.
him, which I was like, I'm excited to see how this goes. All right. Before I pick my next person, I gotta ask you, Tim, right? Because I
Yeah,
know you're a big peanut butter guy.
I
What are
am.
your thoughts on crunchy peanut butter?
Crunchy peanut butter, I would rate it a negative million out of five.
Okay.
Like it's kind of like, why would you do that? It's like unfinished to me. Crunchy peanut butter is like if you were making a shirt, but you only gave it two buttons, you know, and it's a shirt that goes like all the way up and down. It's like, why would you not finish it and put on the rest of the buttons? Why would you not finish the peanut butter and smooth it all the way out? So that's how I feel about crunchy peanut butter.
See, that's a green flag answer right there. And that is exactly how my guy Jawan feels about peanut butter or crunchy peanut butter as well. And you know, speaking of your distaste for crunchy peanut butter, there's a lot of similarities between the two of you. You know, both very friendly, smiley guys. And he's also a video editor, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. And he wants to play like Jesse Lopez. So, like, if he's as sweet as he seems and as cunning to be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm hoping this guy's the full package. So I'm excited to have Jawan on my team as well. Or Tim, maybe, as a nickname.
Yeah. Juwan definitely got drip. Like I could tell. You know, you can just look at somebody and know that they could dress. We haven't even seen the outfits yet necessarily, but I feel like he got drip. I feel like he can dress. Uh,
Mhm.
as we get ready to move forward, I just want to again shout out reality TV fan for creating this graphic that we're using here on the podcast as we're drafting for this season's Survivor 49. But somebody else who I would say has their own unique kind of drip. You know, I wouldn't say it's like fashion and it's drip. I feel like this person has their own sense of fashion, their own like vibe, and people have been sleeping on this demographic of player. I got to go with Annie. I feel like people always underestimate the older woman of a season. Think about Sue, who got like so far into the game. Think literally Final Tribal Council, mind you. Let's think about like other players in these recent seasons that are older women that have gotten like pretty far and has impacted the season that they've been on. So I gotta go with Annie. I feel like Annie is gonna be unique. Is gonna be maybe a little bit out there. You know, I get the vibes of Debbie, I think that's her name, who had different jobs, but I think Annie is definitely gonna be a great player.
I think it's crazy. I know it's all relative compared to everyone else in the cast and everything, but Annie's in her 40s. That doesn't scream old in the game of Survivor like we've seen. Like, how old was Bob Crowley when he won? Like in his
Yeah.
70s or something like that? Like, dude, Annie is not up to that level. And she gives extremely young vibes and hits. So yeah, she might be out there, but that's a lot of fuel maybe just to try to like get yourself into an alliance and be a social force in this game. So I'm excited to see how she does. Definitely.
Mhm.
The next player I think will also be a very big social force. And I'm looking at Nicole. What I really
Dang.
liked about Nicole was from a big Italian family. That's like New York vibes right there, right? And I don't know, there's something about Nicole that like when they compare themselves to Parv and Suri, like that's a pretty big statement to make, to be like, yeah, like these are the people I'm gonna play with. Like you gotta back that up. And I want to see Nicole back that up in her game.
Yeah, listen, I'm mad that you stole Nicole. I'm actually mad. Every time, for folks who don't know, when I do a draft or participate in the draft with like Rob and some other of our Survivor friends, shout out to them, Rob always gets to draft before me. And he always drafts the person who I was gonna draft. I was gonna draft Nicole next. So I'm mad at you once again. Nicole, that's a butch queen right there. You
Hey,
know,
but bro,
like
but like, how well have I done in past drafts? It's probably been a blessing that I've picked them for you. You know, I don't think I've done well in any Survivor draft leading up to this point. So you're welcome. Yeah, you should really be like, thank you, Rob, for picking Nicole. Because now I just picked the first boot of the season or something. You know, I
we
hope
never
not.
know. We never know. But cool. All right. If you got Nicole, I gotta go with MC. MC is someone who I don't know. I just like the name. Honestly, I really like MC's name. MC, she got her locks. She's like ready to go into the game. She talked about like her strategy moving forward and how she wants to play the game. And I feel like it could be useful for her. I think it could be something that really gets her far. And for that reason, I got to go with MC.
All right, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I will. But like, if you're gonna take MC, like, you got to give me like some kind of like DJ rap right now, right? Go for it. You got to go for it, dude.
Nah. Okay. If MC, all right. You got to give me a beat though. How you gonna ask me to rap without a beat? Okay, I'm catching it. I'm finding it. Wait, one. Listen, my name is Tim. I'm him. I'm coming on the draft, picking the win. I'm here with Rob. Corn on the cob.
That was good. Way better than what I could have done.
Listen,
That was awesome.
give me 4 to 5 business days, you know, and maybe I could be like a Riz guy. Who knows?
Oh, fair, dude. Fair. You got that English major in you. The PhD in
Yeah.
English. Like
Hey,
I'll wait for your dissertation to come out, and you'll read it to me in rap form too. Okay.
listen, I'm studying hip hop, so we'll see.
True. Facts. All right. Well, I don't know how to segue off of that, but all right. Well, I know that the next person that I'm picking was not an MC or a rap star or anything like that, but I will be going with the former hockey player model and a current correctional officer in Jake. He
Hmm.
gives like huge masculine energy, probably needs to be the muscle on a tribe. So I'm hoping he can stick around. But I also just love the reason, like, for why he's playing this game, playing for his wife and his baby, who I think is being born while he's playing, which is
Yeah.
that's got to be, that's a huge decision to make, to not be there for the birth of your child. So I know he's playing with so much motivation and ammunition just to bring back the money and to be there for his family. So I just want to know how strong that head is on those beefy shoulders. And I just hope he can make it far in this game.
Yeah, low key, I'm scared for Jake. I feel like people are gonna see Jake. Mind you, this cast has watched a good chunk of 48, they're gonna like be at Jake's neck, in my opinion. But if he's a gladiator, if he can fight off everybody who might be targeting him for being one of those more visibly physically imposing players, then he has a chance. But we'll see how Jake does. Someone who is on the opposite of that, actually, who people might not necessarily view as this big physical dominant person, but someone who I think has the wits to get far in the game. Someone who even made up this random story about going on a hiking journey for the excuse for being on Survivor. That person is Jeremiah. I think Jeremiah is gonna really be someone who has that big smile, big laugh, big energy, but also is going to be someone who's going to strategize. I think he's going to be maybe like, I don't know, I would say he could be the Parvati of the season. He could be the Parvati
Wow.
of the season. People always want to say, it's only women or female players who are Parvati's or Michelle's. I could see Jeremiah fit into that category super easily. So I
Wow.
got to go with Jeremiah.
I like it. I was considering picking him with my next pick. So that sucks. That means he is a winner. So that's not good for me. But yeah, no, I think he gives pep rally and the loudest person in the room. And I think everyone can vibe with him socially. So I definitely can see him going far in this game. And another person who I think has a great chance of going far, and I can't believe she's still on the board right now when I'm looking at the cast list right here on my piece of paper, but I'm going Shannon. I'm going with the person that has a legit connection to Boston Rob. The fact that he worked in her family sports bar, like that's pretty crazy to me, but she seems very multifaceted, and I think she's going to have a very strong game. I thought she was able to speak very eloquently, so hoping she could just integrate herself socially.
Okay. Shannon, I don't know if you've watched any of Australian Survivor, not Australian Survivor versus the world, but Australian Survivor in general. If your name is Shannon, you're iconic. So I think Shannon could very well be one of those players. Someone
Hoping.
else who I feel like I'm kind of torn on. I could see this player falling victim to an early tribe loss and maybe having a more difficult time getting with their tribe. But I can also see this player being maybe someone that people are gravitated toward, who isn't necessarily being the loudest voice in the room, but someone who's like a safe corner you could hide in to escape all the chaos that Survivor will eventually have at some point. That person is Sage. Sage, to me, could very well, if she's able to survive the pre-merge, be a player that players want to go toward and work with. Maybe she isn't gonna do all the big flashy moves herself, but I think she's gonna be someone who could very well be a key player in big moves. And at this point, that's all you need to do. Be a part of those big moves, get out the people who are at the forefront, make sure you're sitting at the end. And I think she could do that.
You know, I loved her mantra of embrace the suck. I thought that was so perfectly and well said. And she's also a clinical social worker from North Carolina. Like that's literally so on brand for
Yeah.
me. Like that's my kind of people. Definitely love the pick. Another person who I think is my kind of people, it's Steven. We love a good nerd. And that's just kind of the people that I tend to definitely relate to the most. I don't know what it is, but it's like it's the energy of the nerd where I don't know if you're like self-conscious, but also social at the same time. But then if you're able to fully be yourself, like that's a strong personality that I think can really do well in the game of Survivor. If you're able to hold on to those attributes, and it takes you far, you know? So I'm hoping my boy Steven can go pretty far in this game.
Okay. Steven, listen, I feel like I agree. I'm a nerd myself, and I out nerd you at any day. Head to head, nerd for nerd, I win.
It's why we're
So
friends, bro.
it's why we're friends, and because of that, I always root for the nerds. So go
Mhm.
Steven. Now, this next pick, I will die on this hill, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope to be proven wrong in the game as the season starts. This person, if I was scared before for another player, I'm definitely a little bit frightened, Like, I actually love horror movies, I love scary movies, but it's a few things in this world that scare me. One of those things being bugs. I'm not a bug person, Rob. If you ever see me around any kind of bug, spider, bees, especially ones that fly, I'm like ducking and dodging. I'm like running around. I get that same feeling when I think about how far this player is going to get into the game because I don't really know how it's going to go. But again, I hope to be proven wrong. And even if I'm proven right, this person still got on Survivor, and that's more than what I could do at this point. I got to go with Matt.
Okay. I hope it's not the stereotypical we gotta vote out the older guy because he seems so fun, so electric. And I know like he's talking about like this belly that he's like developed over the time. Like I don't want that to hold him back, but I don't know. He just seems like such a good time on the island. So I'm definitely rooting for him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're looking at our last two people. So whoever I pick, I get, and you get the leftovers, the scraps, the trash, the season,
Wow. Scraps is crazy.
Yeah, you get the leftovers, dude.
I let you get the coal, I get the diamond. That's how we're gonna
Yeah,
think about this.
that's
That's how
probably
we're
how I was gonna.
playing. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
You get the
All
dirt, I
right.
get the diamonds.
All right.
Nobody's dirt, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, for my last pick for Team Rob, I'm gonna go with the Riz God. I think he seems like he seems like he's walking brain rot, but I think he might get like 6th, 7th place in the game, maybe or something. But like, hopefully, he doesn't try and get like Sendy on the island or nothing like that. Like, take a coconut and go like,
Rob.
but in all seriousness, like he's from the same county as me in New York, and I view him as someone I would easily get along with. So definitely looking out for the Riz God.
Nice. Well, this leaves me with somebody who I wanted anyway, Savannah. I'm glad you picked Rizzo. No shade to Rizzo, but I wanted Savannah. I feel like Savannah got this in the bag. I feel like Savannah is gonna do well. And I just like Savannah's personality. Like seeing her interviews, seeing her like energy and excitement for the game, seeing like that like like readiness to play is something that I will want to do if I'm ever on Survivor. So I am gonna close out my winning team because I'm gonna win, Rob. I'm gonna just I talk mess. I'm one of those people who, if we're playing a video game, I'm gonna talk smack the whole time. I'm gonna talk my stuff the whole time. I don't care if we're like playing Uno. I'm gonna talk my mess. And with Savannah on my team, best believe I'm gonna talk my mess, Rob. And I feel like
Dude,
my team, we got it in the bag. So
dude, I look at Savannah's eyes and I get scared. Like I feel like she's staring into my soul, and that's the player I don't know if I would want to get close to because I think she's gonna manipulate the shit out of me and everyone else. And dude, I love the villain qualities I feel like we're gonna get from her. And yeah, she seems like she's gonna be a force in the game.
yeah, for sure. Well, that is our draft, but it's not the end of our episode because we have a very special announcement. So, Rob, what I have here is 3 buffs for this season of Survivor 49 that we are giving away. Alongside these 3 buffs that we're giving away, Brice Izyah, shout out to Brice, the OG Zaddy of them all, is giving away 3 Zaddy calendars as well. I'm going to tell you about how to enter for a chance to win either a buff of your choice alongside having a Zaddy calendar for this upcoming year. All you have to do, pull out your phone, go over to YouTube, subscribe to the Brice Izyah YouTube channel, go over to Instagram, follow the Split the Vote Instagram account at Split the Vote and Split the Vote podcast. Let me be correct. And on the announcement post that you'll see, comment what you're excited about for the season, why you love Survivor, and tag a friend. And who knows, maybe you could be rocking one of these really nice, beautiful buffs. Rob, which one would you have if you had one?
Oh man, I mean, I'm repping Carolina blue, so I think I gotta go with the blue tribe.
Okay. Listen,
I got to stray from Maryland a little bit.
y'all see how he's always still in my choice because I also would have said blue, but
Let's go.
but yeah, whoa, Rob, I always enjoy our podcast, and I've enjoyed this episode. It's been Tim.
It's been Rob.
It's been Split the Vote. Peace.